Kim Woo-bin and Bae's Suzy. Love that almost lost them. 8 years had passed since Uncontrollably Fond, 2016. The drama that undid a generation of hearts with its emotional weight. Fans remember Junyoung's illness, played by Kim Woo-bin, a real mirror of Woo-bin's nasopharyngeal cancer diagnosis in 2017, and Suzy's unwavering portrayal of No-yul, a love defined by devotion in the face of inevitable loss. In 2024, they reunited for the fantasy rom-com All the Love You Wish For, written by Kim Eun-suk and directed by Lee Byung-hyun, the same powerhouse duo behind blockbuster hits like The Glory and Goblin. Social media buzz, nouveau hope rose. This time, perhaps they get their fairy tale ending. Our imagined story begins on location in Marrakesh, filming a sequence set in an ancient lamp shop. Late-night winds blow gusty sand. Suzy portrays a woman uncertain of her power to grant a wish, Woo-bin a genie desperate for freedom. Between takes, they're alone in the narrow alleys, rehearsing lines. A sudden structural collapse. A hanging lamp rig fails. Suzy screams. Woo-bin pushes her out of harm's way and is pinned by wooden beams. Dust screams, flashing lights. Paramedics arrive seconds later. Tests show multiple fractures. ICU care. Suzy hospitalized with shock. The world goes dark. From his hospital bed, Woo-bin texts Suzy. "If I survive this, promise me you'll stay." She whispers in her hospital room. "I already stayed." They cling. Recovery together becomes their impossible mitzvah. Parallel to reality, Kim Woo-bin's cancer remission in 2017 demanded determination and hope. Here the fiction mirrors that. He nearly dies, only to come back stronger and more human than ever. During recovery, Suzy spends nights on a couch nearby. She brushes his hair. He wakes. They talk quietly about first roles, harsh rumors, the pressure of expectations. In their shared pain, they find raw honesty. One scene. Suzy plays piano softly, an unscheduled lullaby in the middle of the night. Woo-bin listens, tears brimming. "I didn't know what I fought for until I nearly lost you." At dawn's first light, Suzy packs dimly lit food. She says she must return to set. They can't disappear again. Woo-bin grips her hand. "This isn't a movie. It's real." Suzy steps away, tears shining. So is our love. Back in Seoul, Woo-bin's back on set. Crutches, scars. Suzy refuses to leave. They film together in deceptive quiet. They laugh between takes. We get glimpses of strength and tenderness. One fan captured Suzy giving him a water bottle between scenes. Woo-bin brushed Lin off her coat. Moments unguarded captured by paparazzi, and then denied as set phantoms. They show that real care doesn't need staging. On a rare live radio appearance, Woo-bin is asked about fear. He says, "Fear stopped me before. In 2017, I faced something I thought would kill me. Now, seeing her there at my bedside, I realized, fear isn't the enemy. It's proof we care." The interviewer gently teases. "So, someone showed up?" Woo-bin pauses. Glance to Suzy's voice at the studio door. "She saved me." The drama continues. Paparazzi dig into their relationship. Unwanted headline spin. Anonymous letters threaten Suzy. Warnings about staying away from him. Woo-bin's past cancer scars become twisted into viral conspiracy theories. They retreat to a quiet island retreat near Jeju. That quiet only lasts one night, before hooded figures film them from dark corners. Woo-bin marches outside, confronts them. Defiant, bruised, speaking through a megaphone to reporters gathered. "You try to turn our pain into spectacle, but love doesn't live in fear." Suzy stands beside him, shoulder to shoulder. No power, just grit. They leave Jeju in an old camper van. No phones, no social media. They drive rural roads at night. They sing K-pop tunes off-key. Woo-bin teaches Suzy how to fish. She teaches him to cook kimchi stew by the cliff. One night under stars, Suzy says, "I was broken after Uncontrollably Fond. Scared to love again." He takes the steering wheel. But broken gifts give the most truth. Moonlight, waves. They lean into each other. The film they starred in, about granting wishes, premieres at Busan. At the red carpet, they step out together. Suzy in deep blue gown, Woo Bin in tailored suit. Cameras roar, but instead of promotional synergy, they issue a joint statement. We nearly lost each other. This film almost cost more than artistry. It cost lives. Our love is not a PR project. It's genuine, painful, and without apology. Reporters scramble. The scene goes viral. Trending terms include truth, survivors, and love without fear. Critics hail the film critically. Audiences move up early due to their emotional investment. SOS petitions call for better onset safety rules. Their bravery sparks reform. In real life, Kim Woo-bin and Suzy signed with Netflix's All the Love You Wish For, a drama written by Kim Eun-suk and directed by Ahn Gil-ho or Lee Byung-hyun, reuniting them post-Uncontrollably Fond with nostalgic chemistry and fantasy flair. Their new project becomes symbolic, lives reborn on screen. They co-author a small coffee table book, Second Chances. Pages show hospital letters, apology messages, snapshots of their on-road healing. They donate proceeds to cancer research and mental health charity. In an interview, Suzy reads from the book, I thought I had 3 wishes. Now I know courage and love are one the same. Woo Bin adds, I believed death was inevitable, but I learned loving can defy it. Online, fans cite their reunion as healing. After Uncontrollably Fond left an emotional scar, many refuse to trust a love story again. Now users write, they didn't just reunite, they resurrected love. This time, we got our happy ending. Their real-life hurt makes their art feel sacred. In a quiet afternoon at a Japanese cafe, they sit together. Suzy sips tea. Woo Bin smiles as he paparazzi-proofly takes her hand. No press, no cameras, just real presence. A stranger snaps a phone photo and whispers, I'm so glad they're okay. He sets it aside. Woo Bin looks at Suzy, squeeze hand. We didn't just survive, we rewrote the script. Epilogue, love that outlives fear. Kim Woo Bin and Bae Suzy overcame danger not only to survive, but to feel, to heal, to defy. Their love wasn't safe. It wasn't easy. It nearly cost their lives. But in surviving, they discovered love's true shape. Fierce, honest, and indestructible. Weeks passed, but the sterile scent of antiseptic and slow-beeping monitors became strangely comforting. Kim Woo Bin lay motionless as twilight filtered through the blinds. Bae Suzy sat by his side, reading from a novel he once gave her during his 2017 recovery. It's funny, she whispered, how the story is about healing, and we're still writing ours. Woo Bin's eyelids fluttered. Her voice had become more powerful than any sedative. He whispered hoarsely, then let's write a better ending this time. Her hand slipped into his, warm and shaking. No more tragic leads. No more last goodbyes. It wasn't physical pain that broke him. It was the dream, a repeat loop of the collapsing beams, her scream, his powerlessness. He woke in a cold sweat. Suzy was there, always there. I saw you die, he choked out. She didn't flinch. But I didn't. I'm still here. I didn't let go. She cradled his face between trembling hands. We've lived so many scripted tragedies. Let's stop acting and start living. And in that hospital room, wrapped in silence and Celine, they kissed, not for drama, but for survival. When Woo Bin was finally moved to a private villa near the coast to recover, he found a letter tucked into a sketchbook Suzy had used to doodle scenes from their camper van journey. It read, there was a moment I thought you wouldn't wake up. And in that moment, I knew, not because you almost died, but because if you did, I wouldn't know how to keep breathing. You once told me your biggest fear was becoming a burden. I want you to know that loving you has never been a weight. It's been the only thing keeping me grounded. His hands trembled, then steadied. He picked up a pen and wrote on the bottom. Then let's promise to never leave the page blank again. Some wounds don't heal unless faced. Suzy insisted they visit the Marrakesh set where the accident happened. The crew had since been replaced. Safety protocols overhauled. It was ghostly quiet. She stood at the very spot where he had pushed her aside. I hated this place, she admitted. But now, I need to make peace with it. Woo Bin touched the beam that nearly crushed him. This is where I stopped acting, he said. where I started fighting. For you. She turned, her voice shaking. Then let's finish what we started. Together. The director was hesitant but relented. Woo Bin and Suzy rewrote the final emotional climax of the drama, the very one that had been scheduled for that fateful night. But this time, they played it not as broken lovers, but as survivors. The camera rolled. He looked into her eyes and said, I have no wishes left. Only one truth. I would choose you again, even if I only had seconds to live. She replied, voice rich with tears. Then we live like every second matters. Together, no regrets, no redose. When the director yelled cut, no one spoke. Even the crew wept, because it wasn't acting anymore. A spontaneous trip to the southern coast turned chaotic when their driver took a wrong turn. With no GPS and no signal, they found themselves in a remote village. Looks like we're sleeping under stars, Suzy laughed, folding her jacket under her head. Woo Bin lay beside her on a patch of grass, gazing at the constellations. Maybe this was the universe's way of giving us a break. Suzy looked over. Do you think we'd still love each other if we weren't famous? He replied instantly, I think we'd love even harder, because there'd be nothing standing in the way. She leaned in, touching her forehead to his. In that remote village, far from the flash of media, they found something rare, quiet clarity. Their publicist begged them to do a joint interview to control the narrative. Too many theories were spreading. Fake relationship, staged accident, career stunt. Suzy said no. But Woo Bin called the shots now. They appeared on live TV. No manager, no stylists, no rehearsed scripts. He looked into the camera. I nearly died protecting someone who means everything to me. That's not PR. That's life. And I don't need permission to love her. Suzy followed. This isn't a comeback. It's a continuation. And love doesn't need your approval. The broadcast broke the internet. But for once, it wasn't scandal. It was celebration. They received a box of handwritten fan letters a week later. One stood out. I'm fighting leukemia. Watching you two survive made me believe I can too. Thank you for not giving up. They read it together, cried silently, then donated part of their drama earnings to a youth cancer fund in her name. They never announced it, because some victories are private. There was no ring, no violin quartet, just a quiet night on their villa balcony. Suzy leaned against him, hair tousled from ocean breeze. Woo Bin whispered, what if we didn't need a big announcement? Just you and me? She turned, tears in her eyes. I already said yes the moment you came back to me. Their love wasn't born from fairy tales. It was forged in fear, loss, silence, and survival. But now they were fireproof. Not untouchable, but unbreakable, because they had learned the truth. When love survives fire, it never fades. It glows brighter, burns stronger, forever.